Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and this time we'll be going over some of the new things in Minecraft, such as the observer blocks and some of the old things like and gates over here, and yeah, these can be used for switches and doors and cool stuff. Let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to go over is the observer block. Before, you would have to make a block update detector, but right now this is what we have. So if we have something that can cause a block update, such as a fence, and then we get a redstone output on this end, right there, like that, you can see that every time we change the fence's, how do I say this, open value over there on the right, then it'll actually cause a redstone signal. And we can use this for many things like farms or just generally detecting in a cooler way. Let's say you place a block and then you have a detector outputting to, let's say, a piston, which can then move the block out of the way. Of course, this will cause a endless cycle because the observer can only output as fast as the thing is moving. But if you give it a tick delay, alright, let's try that. It needs to be more delayed. Well, the point is that it'll move so slowly that it won't count. But I'm not very good at tick delays, so let's just glimpse over that one for now. So yeah, these observers can detect any sort of update, and they are placed such as pistons. So yeah, they kind of move around however you want them to, but the side that always faces you is the redstone side, so keep that in mind. Now we're gonna go over the AND gate I showed you over there with the iron door. And it's actually one of the cooler things you can do with redstone torches. So I'm just gonna put down a small little wall over here for our combination. And I'm just gonna say that our combination is gonna be 2, 5, 6. And you'll see what I mean by that in a second. Alright. So our door is gonna be over here. Our button to try to open the door is gonna be right there. And notice how I didn't put it next to the door, because of course that would open it. And we don't want that. We could always just do like this. Then it opened the door. And that was the whole point of a combination. That's what we want. So over here, a little farther away from the button, just to give us space for some redstone, I'm gonna put down a lever. And we said that our combination is gonna be 2, 5, 6. So let's put down this. And right now we have 5, so let's add one more for the 6. And the combination we want is 2, 5, and 6. Now, if you remember, when redstone torches are powered, they do not output a signal, and that's very important. Because whenever they are powered, whenever they're not powered, they will, which we'll use to our advantage. So we just put a block behind the ones that we don't want flipped, and put redstone up there, and just connect the line like this. Now, if any other one of these levers gets flicked, it'll activate the whole thing. Now, you might have a problem with the distance depending on how much you decide to make your combination. Like, if you have 50 levers, it's going to be pretty hard to get the redstone across. So, if you want, you can just put a redstone repeater across all of these. And now no matter where you are, it'll activate in the end anyway. Alright, let's move on. Now here comes the AND gate. This is the actually important part. So, the whole concept is that if you have one redstone torch here, one redstone torch here, and you hook this up to the button, and you hook this one up to the levers, and you put a piece of redstone in the middle. When this one's active and this one's active, then this one will stop being powered by this piece of redstone right here, causing a redstone signal to go out. And let's see how unmessy I can make this. Alright. I don't typically work underground because it takes a while. Put a redstone torch there, and then we can invert the signal. Just like that. And then we can just put down a redstone repeater here. And that'll be our extension over to the door. Now, you guys may realize that whenever you put in the wrong combination, it'll actually act as the right one now. And we don't want that. Rather, we want to invert this signal with a redstone torch, so that whenever you have the correct combination of flicking that one, that one, and that one, then you'll be able to go through the door. So we go 2, 5, 6, and then we push the button. And there you go. Now, if we keep anything different at all, it won't open. Alright. So last thing I wanted to mention, and I think this is just kind of cool, nothing big really, is that if you get an observer block, and then you use that instead of a button, you can actually make your entrances more secret, and I'll show you why. The doors that you can use to get even to this point, so let's say you have a combination, and then you have a door. This door could be right outside the observer block, acting as a button. And if you put a roof over this inside your base or whatever, no one will ever know. Yet, there is one being powered. So let's just put in the right combination. Open the door. You might actually want to give this a longer tick signal because it's not turning off the torch. There you go. So you walk through the door, it'll open up and close. You can also change how long you want it to open it up and close through these repeaters, because if you give it a longer tick, that'll mean it'll actually last for longer. That's cool. So if you open that, it'll last for longer. Not much, but it'll work. Lastly, and I don't think that this was self-explanatory enough, clocks are really important when you're using repeaters, because repeaters can actually cancel themselves out. Let me show you what I mean. Now, I gave these very long tick delays, so whenever I flick the lever, you can actually see it going around. But now when I break the lever, it's self-sustaining. So I just broke a piece of redstone, and now it's going around in a clock. Now the reason I mention this is because some of the faster clocks, let's just say we use 1 tick instead, are much, much harder to get down. But you can use some practice. Now, here's a couple methods that you can use. So what you gotta get is a redstone comparator, which I'll explain in another day because these things are complicated. And you switch it over to subtraction mode, and since it's getting power, it'll actually go on a loop. Alright, now I found that you actually have to kind of toy with the signal, but you can actually get a repeater to do this. Therefore, powering anything. Another method, which I believe I showed in my first video, is to use the same one tick repeater circuit, but the way you power it is very unique. As you may know, torches have a very short time where they are active and then they become inactive due to a redstone signal. That amount of, I guess you could call it lag time, is what will activate this. And it's just the right amount so it doesn't cancel itself out. Alright. Over here we have a different type of redstone torch elevator. And this is the normal type, and you will get higher with this one. But if you just want to keep the same pulse, so let's say you want to do this, it'll keep the same pulse, and it only costs you 2 redstone. And it'll go up by a block. Of course, this will be more useful if you're trying not to keep the same pulse and go up by 2 blocks. But it'll still work. Alright. I want to showcase one last thing. And this one is a little bit more complicated than the other things because of the nature of how messy I am in my redstone. But basically what it does is that it pushes these 2 blocks up so that you can walk across and then pulls them back down. It's really slow and I think I can improve it, but here it is. So there you go, it goes up very fast, but it goes down by 1 block and then the other one is kind of slow. So this is another thing that you can do just using repeaters and a little bit of time and patience. So this is a piston extender where it'll extend these 4 blocks and then these 2 redstone repeaters will push them up. And the timing is done just right so that it pushes up, and then when you get rid of the lever, it'll push down and then retract.